Well, friends, this is our regular Thursday evening, but we're going to do something a little bit different this evening. Instead of the usual talk that we have where Firuz scours the world and finds different interesting speakers for us, and we never know what we have in store, we thought we'd create a new series for the last Thursday of the month. And this would be a space that we hold for all of us to really explore a theme together in a meditative and reflective kind of space. And so I was asked to put together this first kickoff evening, which I was very happy to do. I have a little presentation, which I'll speak about in a moment. But I'll be really happy if after that brief presentation, the friends here, all of us feel comfortable to share your own thoughts or passages, and hence the name, the Potluck Soul Cafe. You know, you go to a potluck, usually you bring something. Sometimes when there's nothing in your pantry, you don't bring anything and you know you're still welcome. And sometimes you go to the corner store on your way to that potluck and you get bags of chips. So all of those kinds of contributions are welcome this evening. So we thought we would start with the theme of hope, knowing that it's probably a theme that is relevant to all of us, if not personally, at least in our conversations with all that seems to be going on in the world. So I invite you to explore hope together. In putting together the presentation and selecting passages and readings, I had a couple thoughts, and I thought I would just share them now before we go into our presentation, just as a springboard. So it dawned on me that hope is one of these virtues that really draws in so many other virtues. It's not like a standalone virtue. You know, we know that to have hope, we have to have other virtues like patience and understanding, or how the skill to derive wisdom from tests, and perseverance and gratitude and praise. So these are all wrapped together. Anytime you think of hope, there's this whole family of other virtues that comes to mind. And it dawned on me too that hope is really a state of mind. I'm curious to know your thoughts later on that. But hope really looks with the eyes of faith to the future, in the hopes that the future will shed light on the wisdom in a present day difficult situation, and we'll be able to look back on a situation that we're enduring and understand it. And so that's sort of the seed of hope that we hold. I know that hope is one of these universal themes that all sacred writings, they elaborate on hope. They give a lot of consolation to the individual and help us through hard times, knowing that tests and difficulties are there to help develop our capacities, our capacity for growth. And so you'll see some of that sentiment reflected in some of our selections this evening. But what I also wanted to share was how the sacred Baha'i teachings lend a different context to another angle on hope. And that is that Baha'u'llah talks a lot about the day in which we live and how it's very tumultuous. And that alone I find is very hopeful, knowing that there's a purpose to the chaos and confusion that we're probably all experiencing in this day. So the teaching is that humanity is going through a transition in its maturation process. So as a collective, humanity is maturing, and you can consider that we're on the threshold of our maturity. And so anything that we have established that doesn't echo the spiritual reality of this day, it's going to be torn asunder. Those are institutions, ideas. So what is that spiritual reality of this day and age? It's none less than the consciousness of the oneness of mankind. That's what we are destined to attain. And so all forms of prejudice that don't serve that spiritual reality, they're being challenged. And we see this vast upheaval in our society to challenge these outmoded ways of thinking in institutions. So prejudices like between men and women, between race, between class, between nationality, all sorts of prejudices. The needs of the day are that of justice and establishing a unified human race. And the shape of a human family is starting to come into the picture, but the hope that we derive from these sacred writings is that we're on our way there. So with that, I wanted to just say a few words. We'll have a short presentation which begins with some music. And that's just a time to transition from our busy days. We've all just sort of rushed through dinner probably, and the dishes are still in the sink. So we'll begin with just a little bit of meditative music, if you wouldn't mind putting your thought on the theme of hope. And then we'll share a selection of passages. They all come from the Baha'i writings. And then at the end, we'll just have an open space for sharing. So I look forward to that. Friends, I haven't pre-selected our readers, so let's see how we do. Are we up for the task? So what I'll ask is that when a slide comes up with a passage, if you feel moved, just unmute yourself and go ahead and read it, please, and then remute yourself. It's the unmute, remute. And let's see how it goes. We'll only need one reader, and if two people chime in, you'll have to duke it out. So Brett's going to run our presentation, and sit back and enjoy.
Lift up your hearts above the present and look with eyes of faith into the future. Today the seed is sown, the grain falls upon the earth, but behold, the day will come when it shall rise a glorious tree, and the branches thereof shall be laden with fruit. Rejoice and be glad that this day has dawned. Try to realize its power, for it is indeed wonderful. God has crowned you with honor, and in your hearts has He set a radiant star. Verily, the light thereof shall brighten the whole world. Abdul Baha.
The troubles of this world pass, and what we have left is what we have made of our souls. So it is to this we must look, to becoming more spiritual, drawing nearer to God, no matter what our human minds and bodies go through.
When a drop draws help from the ocean, it is an ocean in itself, and a little seed, through the outpouring of rain, the favor of the sun, and the soul-refreshing breeze, will become a tree with the utmost freshness, full of leaves, blossoms, and fruits. Therefore, do not consider thy capacity and merit, but rely upon the infinite bounty and trust to His Highness the Almighty. Do not delay. Undertake soon that which thou art intending.
O Son of Man, thou art my dominion, and my dominion Perishivnar. Wherefore fearest thou thy perishing? Thou art my light, and my light shall never be extinguished. Why dost thou dread extinction? Thou art my glory, and my glory fadeth not. Thou art my robe, and my robe shall never be outworn abide. And in thy love for me, that thou mayest find me in the realm of glory, in the realm of glory, in the realm of glory.
Never lose thy trust in God. Be thou ever hopeful, for the bounties of God never cease to flow upon man. If viewed from one perspective, they seem to decrease, but from another, they are full and complete. Man is under all conditions immersed in a sea of God's blessings. Therefore, be thou not hopeless under any circumstances, but rather be firm in thy hope.
Just now, the soil of human hearts seems like black earth, but in the innermost substance of this dark soil, there are thousands of fragrant flowers latent. We must endeavor to cultivate and awaken these potentialities. Discover the secret treasure in this very mine and depository of God. Bring forth these resplendent powers long hidden in human hearts. Then will the glories of both worlds be blended and increased, and the quintessence of human existence be made manifest.
Suffering is both a reminder and a guide. It stimulates us better to adapt ourselves to our environmental conditions, and thus leads the way to self-improvement. In every suffering, one can find a meaning and wisdom. But it is not always easy to find the secret of that wisdom. It is sometimes only when all our suffering has passed that we become aware of its usefulness. What man considers to be evil turns often to be a cause of infinite blessings. And this is due to his desire to know more than he can. Shobi Effendi.
Ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba-ba. Pass by whatever exists in this world and find me, find me. Pass by whatever exists in this world and find me, find me. I am the sun of perception, the ocean of science. I revive the withered ones and quicken the dead. I am that light which illumines the path of insight. I am the falcon on the head of the Almighty. I bear healing in my wings and teach the knowledge of soaring. I bear healing in my wings and teach the knowledge of soaring to the heaven of truth. Pass by whatever exists in this world and find me, find me. Pass by whatever exists in this world and find me, find me. I am the sun of perception, the ocean of science. I revive the withered ones and quicken the dead. I am that light which illumines the path of insight. I am the falcon on the head of the Almighty. I bear healing in my wings and teach the knowledge of soaring. I bear healing in my wings and teach the knowledge of soaring to the heaven of truth. I bear healing in my wings and teach the knowledge of soaring. I bear healing in my wings and teach the knowledge of soaring to the heaven of truth. Pass by whatever exists in this world and find me, find me. Pass by whatever exists in this world and find me, find me, find me.
In this world, sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. In this world, we are influenced by two sentiments, joy and pain. Joy gives us wings. In times of joy, our strength is more vital, our intellect keener, and our understanding less clouded. We seem better able to cope with the world and to find our sphere of usefulness. But when sadness visits us, we become weak. Our strength leaves us, our comprehension is dim, and our intelligence veiled. The actualities of life seem to elude our grasp. The eyes of our spirits fail to discover these sacred mysteries, and we become even as dead beings.
Be calm, be strong, be grateful, and become a lamp full of light, that the darkness of sorrows be annihilated, and the sun of everlasting joy arise from the dawning place of heart and soul, shining brightly. Abdul Baha.
O God, refresh and gladden my spirit, purify my heart, illumine my powers. I lay all my affairs in thy hand. Thou art my guide and my refuge. I will no longer be sorrowful and grieved. I will be a happy and joyful being. O God, I will no longer be full of anxiety, nor will I let trouble harass me. I will not dwell on the unpleasant things of life. O God, thou art more friend to me than I am to myself. I dedicate myself to thee, O Lord.
O thou handmaid aflame with thy fire of love, the burden you gracefully carry alone weighs a time. The dreams you share and the ones you wouldn't dare whisper aloud. Weigh on your heart and pull you to places you know don't belong. Hold on. This earthly life shall come and go. Hold on. You were made to bear and endure. You were made to bear. When the hour is dark, rain is falling. Oh, the heart will never be to bear more than it shall fall. troubles turn to peace, and sorrow to solace, toil turns to peace. Thou art my lamp and my light. Is any seek none other than thee. Hold on. This earthly life shall come and go. Hold on. You were made to bear and endure. You were made to bear. When the hour is dark, rain is falling. Oh, turn thy sight unto thyself, that thou mayest find me standing within thee. Mighty, turn thy sight unto thyself, that thou mayest find me standing within thee. Mighty, turn thy sight unto thyself, that thou mayest find me standing within thee. Mighty, turn thy sight unto thyself, that thou mayest find me standing within thee. Mighty and hold on. This earthly life shall come and go. Hold on. You were made to bear and endure. You were made to bear. When the hour is dark, rain is falling. Oh, oh, oh.
That brings us to the end of that formal part of the program. I'm going to stop sharing here. But just a word about that final song. I had special permission, and that was the world premiere, am I right, Em? Of Hold On, sung by Emily of Smith and Dragoman. So thank you very much, Emily, for allowing us to play that.